Glad to have you back. Now we go straight to our discussion. We're looking at two different topics for today. We're looking at the issue around pension. As we see, PenCom seek full adoption of a contributing pension scheme by state. There, of course, they've also recovered about 1.58 billion naira from defaulting employers. Of course, there's also issue around annuity, as we see some pension contributors there. Moving away from that product because of its failure, according to them there. I'm being joined now by a senior technical advisor, of course, of COPHERA and the former director of corporate services as PITAD, Malam Sani Mustapha. Good morning, Malam Mustapha.
Good morning, Mr. Yusuf Akogu.
Yes, it's a pleasure hearing from you.
Good morning.
Let me quickly get your reaction to this piece of news coming from PenCom. We saw that meeting in Kano earlier this week where the PenCom DG made that statement about pushing for all the states to adopt the CPS, and of course they recover about 1.58 billion naira there from defaulting employers. What did you make of that? What was your reaction when you got that piece of news?
Well, the new Director General, although she's not new now, it seems she really wants to chart a different way. Instead of waiting for states to come to PenCom, she now goes to them to really entice them as to the benefits of the contributory pension scheme. And that way, if they have any question, if they want any help, whatever it is, she is there. Everything stops in her table. I think it is a very good thing.
Indeed, it is a very good thing. What do you make about the issue of defaulting employers? Why do employers have to keep about 1.58 billion naira of employees' pension amount within their coffers for this long?
Well, you see, Section 11.3 of the Pension Reform Act directed employers to close the monthly contribution is paid, and they should remit this money within 17 days. But you see, we are in Nigeria. Some of these defaulting employers have one reason or the other, and they may try to keep that money added to their capital. But there is a penalty under Section 11.6, which stipulates that if this payment is not made within those specified time, they should also pay the money and then pay nothing less than 2% to be added. And that is a hefty amount. So after some times, I think PenCom, instead of waiting, they decided to engage some accounting companies and others to scout around and get these monies. And I think that is where this thing is bearing fruit. And you see, the earlier this payment is made into the retirement savings account, that is when the money will start yielding investment returns. So it is necessary for employers to make sure that they separate pension contributions, pension deductions from their own capital. And it is very important for them to ensure that this money reach the retirement savings account in good time, so that the workers can start, getting the yield.
Indeed, it is indeed very important for this money to get to RSA at a very good time, like you rightly pointed out. Let's look at the issue around the, states not adopting CPS. Many of them are still, we see the old defined benefit scheme there as well. Why do you think some states are still holding on to that scheme that we now need the PenCom to push them? Now we're trying to make it mandatory now for them to accept that, especially those who are coming into, coming as new employment, and of course those who have been employed within the last 10 years.
Sincerely, it is regrettable any state that do not key into this CPS at this age, 2025, after this pension reform was done 2014, it is regrettable. Their workers are suffering unnecessarily. The state themselves, they are suffering unnecessarily. Let them key into this scheme because everybody will be happy. And they have two ways of keying in. They can go through the Jigawa way, where their funds will be kept by the pension fund custodians to be administered by the pension fund administrators, and then they can now be taking that money and paying their pensioners. Or they can go the best way, open retirement savings account, and everybody is happy. That is their own choice. But at this age, no state should be left out of the contributory pension.
Indeed, at this stage, no state should indeed be left out of the contributory pension there as well. Let's also talk about the issue around the retiree life annuity. I mean, we are seeing a lot of people abandoning that product. Why do you think we are seeing that at this time, of given the fact that many of them did say that the scheme has failed? Anyway, do you think the scheme has failed, and that's the reason why many of them are abandoning it?
At all. The scheme has not failed. You see, in any sort of process, there are bound to be some hiccups. That is what I call it. You see, this annuity is the second leg of the benefits under which somebody can retire under the contributory pension scheme. One is the program withdrawal, and the other is retiree lifetime annuity. But you see, this retiree lifetime annuity is handled by insurance companies, and insurance companies have a separate regulator. I think it was in 2016 that PenCom decided that anybody coming from the contributory pension scheme should, if they partake in the retiree lifetime annuity, their funds should be kept with a pension fund custodian. You know, this pension fund custodian is a very, very good way of separating funds that do not belong to the insurance companies or to the pension fund administrators. This pension fund custodian, they keep funds for the retirees, the beneficiaries. So the funds will never be part of the capital of either insurance companies or pension fund administrators. That way, you can see that there has not been any problem with retirees under the contributory pension. But this gap that happened is, I think, 1 or 2 companies, African Alliance and then Standard Alliance. And somehow, the people concerned, the annuitants, are those people that did the annuity before PenCom said all their funds should be moved to custodians. Those are the annuitants that their funds are still with the insurance companies. And the insurance companies had an issue. But right now, the NICOM, who are the regulators, they moved swiftly and took over those companies. Right now, as I'm talking to you, there is an interim management board of African Alliance and also, I think, Standard Alliance. What this means is that nobody will lose his money. Nobody. It is just that they will stay for some months before this thing is sorted out without getting their monthly payment, which is not good. It is very it shows that the system really need to be worked at to ensure that nobody has these gaps. But definitely nobody will lose his money.
Indeed, definitely nobody will lose his money. But what should we do to avoid this kind of reoccurrence? You mentioned the two companies. They're talking about, of course, you talk about the African Alliance and, of course, the other company that you talked about. What does this mean for the crisis of confidence that we are having in the pension industry? I mean, a lot of people are beginning to have doubts as to whether to continue with this product or not.
Definitely, the ball is in the court of NICOM. They have done what they need to do, but they need to quickly complete this and then put these annuitants back on the monthly payments so that everybody will see that action has been taken and there is absolutely no problem again. And the fact is, all annuitants, I think they should have something like the pension fund custodian, where their monies should be given there and be kept on their behalf, not on behalf of the companies. You see, companies, they try, once they have problem, they can try to touch monies that are under their care. And if there is any problem, then this problem will cascade up to their customers. In the case of the contributory pension, nothing like this can happen because the money is kept on behalf of the retirees by the pension fund custodian. That is what really happened. And I think NICOM should look at this issue and then go along to have something like a pension fund custodian where they can keep this funds. So something like this can never happen. But annuity is still a very good product. The people that have an issue, they are less than, let's say, 5%. All the other annuitants are happily getting a monthly payment. So I believe that this thing is just momentarily.
Indeed, talking about getting monthly. Now, as we wrap up this conversation now, let's look at how, PenCom can come in and, of course, mitigate all this. Of course, you talk about NICOM already. What role do you think PenCom should play in this regard?
Well, none of these Americans have put end to contributory pensions. Annuitants, you know, this annuity didn't come with contributory pension. It has been there all along. It is an insurance product. So, but I think because of name, PenCom and NICOM being regulators, being federal government agencies, they should put head together and really remove this thing from the public space. Let this thing be quickly handled and let the retirees come out to the newspapers and tell people that they really don't have a problem again. Because the more this thing is in the public space, the more confidence goes down. But I can assure you, this issue is a very simple and it's a very small issue. Majority of annuity products customers are really enjoying their monthly pension.
Indeed, of course, others are indeed enjoying their monthly pension there. As we wrap up now, my final question to you now will be, maybe I should talk about the issue about the states now. I mean, not key into the CPS there. What do you think could be the problem? Is there something like sharp practices that is delaying them from keying into this sector about how many years, almost since 2014 or thereabout, that it was indeed introduced?
Well, Mr. Yusuf Akogu, you won't hear that from me. But I can tell you that the best way for states, for everybody to be happy, is to key in to this contributory pension. Where states, you see, there is much more chances of doing fraud under the defined benefit. You cannot do fraud under the contributory pension. It is almost nil, the chances of doing fraud. So it is possible that that could be one of the reasons, but I can tell you governors like to stop their progress to keep contributory pension.
Indeed, talking about issue of contributory pension, and of course quite a whole lot is happening in that sector there. Of course, the PenCom, like we really talk about, recovers about 1.58 billion naira from defaulting employers, and of course urging state to indeed key into the contributory pension scheme there, which is indeed very, very critical, especially for the benefit of employers and of course those who are coming into employment. Is a very good one, and of course a lot of clarification has been added to that call there by PenCom there. A very good one there, you say. I must thank my guest, Sani Mustapha, Senior Technical Advisor of COPHERA, former Director of Corporate Services at PITAD. I must thank you for your time on Business Daily today.
Thank you very much, Mr. Yusuf.
All right, we appreciate your contributions. Okay, with that is a wrap on the show today. We'll be back again on Monday. I am Yusuf Akogun.